The phone rings. It's the call you swore you'd never answer. It's them. The narcissist you finally managed to break free from is suddenly back, whispering a siren's call of everything you ever wanted to hear. They speak of profound change, of missing you desperately, and of the realization that it was always you. Your heart starts pounding, and your mind is racing. One part of you desperately wants to believe it, to hope that maybe, just this one time, things will be different. But the other part, the part that remembers the sleepless nights and the gnawing anxiety, is screaming a warning. This isn't a second chance. It's a manipulation tactic, and it has a name: hoovering. Just like the vacuum cleaner, it's a calculated move designed to suck you right back into a toxic cycle. It's a game they play to test your boundaries, feed their ego, and get their control back. It's a beautifully wrapped gift box with nothing inside. Today I'm going to pull back the curtain on the most common hoovering tactics narcissists use. I'll also give you the strategies you can use to shut them down for good, so you can finally reclaim your peace. You deserve to move forward, not get dragged back into a past that almost broke you. So what's really going on here? Why do they come back? Especially if they were the one who ended things or made your life a nightmare. To understand hoovering, you first have to understand the motivation behind it. And to be blunt, it has very little to do with love and everything to do with something called narcissistic supply. Think of a narcissist's ego as a leaky bucket that constantly needs to be filled with attention, validation, and control. When you leave, or when they discard you, their primary source of that supply is cut off. This creates a void, an emptiness they can't stand, because their entire fragile sense of self is propped up by outside validation. The idea of you moving on and being happy without them is a huge blow to their self-image. It means they've lost control. So hoovering is really a desperate act of self-preservation for the narcissist. It isn't about genuinely wanting you back. It's about needing to refill their supply, like a car running on fumes and desperately seeking a gas station. Maybe their new source of attention got boring, or maybe they saw you looking happy on social media, which triggered their envy and their need to pull you back into their orbit. They can't stand rejection, and hoovering is their way of reversing it to prove to themselves they're still in charge. Knowing this is your first line of defense. Their return isn't a sign of your value to them, it's a sign of their own desperation. Once you can spot the tactic, you can disarm it. Narcissists aren't as creative as they think. They usually stick to a predictable playbook. Let's break down 5 of their go-to hoovering tactics. This one is incredibly confusing and powerful. After weeks or months of silence, they suddenly reappear, showering you with that intense affection you remember from the very beginning. They'll send gifts, write long-winded emails about how they can't live without you, and make huge promises to change. They'll issue sweeping apologies for everything, swearing they've gone to therapy and are a whole new person. This is all a performance, designed to play on your hope and the good memories you might still cherish. But these apologies are hollow, like a movie set that looks real from the front but is just empty scaffolding from behind. As soon as you're back in their grasp, the old patterns will return. When love bombing fails, the guilt trips begin. They'll try to make you feel responsible for their misery. They will send messages describing how their life has fallen apart since you left, or how they can no longer eat or sleep. They might invent a crisis, a sudden illness, a financial problem, a family emergency, anything to pull at your heartstrings and make you feel obligated to help. In the most extreme cases, they might even allude to self-harm, which is a terrifying form of emotional blackmail designed to force you to comply out of fear. This tactic preys on your empathy. They see your kindness not as a virtue, but as a lever to be pulled. If you block them directly, A narcissist will often try to get to you through other people. This is called triangulation, and it turns your social circle into their personal switchboard. They'll recruit mutual friends, family members, or even your own kids to pass along their messages. These messengers, often called flying monkeys, usually have no idea they're being used. The narcissist acts like a puppeteer, spinning a story for them, making themselves look remorseful, and painting you as unfair for cutting them off. Then your friends might approach you with good intentions, suggesting you talk to them because they seem so sorry. The goal is to isolate you, make you doubt yourself, and apply so much pressure that you finally give in. This is a more subtle kind of hoovering. They might send you a text that was supposedly meant for someone else, usually containing something to make you jealous or curious. Or you'll see a vague social media post with suggestive song lyrics, or a mysterious status update about their emotional state. Sometimes it's a single, ambiguous word, or a photo that brings up a shared memory. These are never accidents. They're bait. They are like a fisherman casting out a line just to see if you'll bite. All they want is a response, any response, so they can see if the door is still unlocked. Once you engage, they know they've still got a hook in you. This one is especially twisted. A narcissist will sometimes try to hoover you by first going on a scorched earth campaign against your reputation. They'll spread lies about you to friends, family, and colleagues, painting you as unstable or cruel. Then they circle back to you and act like they're the only person who truly understands you, or the only one willing to forgive you for the very things they accused you of. This is a sick power play designed to dismantle your support system, leaving you feeling alone and vulnerable. By wrecking your other relationships, they try to make themselves your only option, positioning themselves as the sole lighthouse in a storm they created. Recognizing the playbook is one thing, but knowing how to respond is how you win. Your single most powerful tool is no contact. That means blocking their number, social media accounts, and email. Any response, even an angry one, is a form of supply. It's like giving a stray cat a saucer of milk. It only encourages it to come back. Absolute no contact starves them of attention, and eventually they'll be forced to look for it somewhere else. But sometimes no contact just isn't possible, especially if you share kids or a business. In those situations, your goal is to become a grey rock. A grey rock is boring, uninteresting, and totally unresponsive. Your communication should be minimal, factual, and stripped of all emotion. Here are the strategies to use. When they send a message full of emotion and bait, do not engage with the emotional content. Your response should be as bland and logistical as a business memo. Address only the necessary practical points. If there are no practical points to address, do not respond at all. Answering a sentimental message is a reward. Silence shows them your boundaries are not up for negotiation. If you must talk on the phone for co-parenting or legal reasons, keep it short and structured. State the logistical purpose of your call at the beginning. If they try to detour into emotional territory or talk about your past relationship, steer the conversation back to the necessary topic. If they persist, state firmly that the conversation is no longer productive and that you are ending the call. Then hang up. You do not need to wait for their permission or reaction. When a friend or family member approaches you on the narcissist's behalf, try not to get angry at them. They've likely been manipulated. Respond calmly but firmly. You can express appreciation for their concern, but state clearly that your relationship with that person is in the past and you will not discuss it. Think of this as building a firewall. You are protecting your own peace by setting a boundary with your friend without giving them any information that could get back to the narcissist. Resisting the hoover is one of the hardest things you'll do after leaving a narcissist. It tests your resolve and preys on your hopes. But you have to remember, their actions aren't about love, they're about control. They aren't looking for reconciliation, they're looking for supply. By spotting their tactics and using these strategies to hold strong boundaries, you take your power back. Every single time you refuse to engage, you reinforce your own freedom. Every time you choose silence, you are choosing yourself. Healing isn't a straight line, so be patient and kind to yourself through this process. If you can, find a therapist or a support group that truly understands these dynamics. You don't have to go through this alone. If this was helpful for you, please share it with someone who might need to hear this today. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one hoovering tactic you've personally experienced? Sharing our stories is how we take the power back and realize we're not alone. You already took the brave step to get out. Now let's make sure you stay free.